What's up? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream. For those who watched PJ's channel last night, Paradox Nerd, welcome back. Oh man, W- what a year or what a night! Wow, I'm pretty sure if you've been following Hot Toys and the announcements, you're well aware of what happened last night. A certain figure dropped that a lot of people are anticipating. Mark 85, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that figure. I made a video, and I don't think any of my videos was that hot for the first 12 hours. Literally, it was intense. But before we start off this stream, I just want to thank my members, Danny Lee, um, Big Dog. Yeah, I want to thank my members, man, Danny Lee, Mario Cortez, Brian Tidwell, and Mark Evans, man. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. Happy holidays, Big Dog. And hey, those are terrible head sculpture in your thumbnail. Big Dog, I would agree with you, but LeBron James, that's a pretty good head sculpt, man. That's a pretty solid head sculpt. Um, but yeah, we'll talk about that, man. As you see, the title of the live stream is what the I was gonna use something else, but I want my monetization. So I've been really thinking hard of turning off the monetization of this video because I want to be free and talk freely and use some languages that I normally don't use. But we'll keep it PG. We'll keep it PG. Hey Mario, what's going on, my man? Brett says Mark 85 has to be the only sculpt that gets worse with every picture that I see it. Hey, Danny Lee's in the house. All right, let's get this thing going, man. We got a lot to talk about. I haven't streamed in like a couple of weeks outside of last night with PJ. So let's get this thing going. Moff Gideon falls to one of those category, man. Are y'all picking this up? I still might. I'm leaning towards no. Like the pride of me says no. First, it's a bit expensive. It's not spot on. It's a bit bulky. You got the fat suit going in there. Looks decent, man. It looks decent. This falls into the category of Mark 85, I would say. And Danny always does. Danny always does this, man. Confuses me. All right. Not the worst figure. Not the worst head sculpt. Also not the best. That seems to be becoming a trend for Hot Toys now. Are we making excuses for Hot Toys now? Are they the new Asmus now? Because I feel like we're saying that more and more, don't we? Like with Obi-Wan back then Qui-Gon, and now him, and now 85. That used to be reserved for companies like Asmus or Star Ace. But I feel like we've been saying that for Hot Toys. All right, so this one, we discussed this like a million times already. 250, a bit high. It doesn't have the light up functionality. I wish it did. Lightsaber looks good. I mean, the dark saber looks good. Does it matter that it lights up or not? No, but at the same time, if you're gonna charge me 250, man, at least give me like fancy base or something. We all know that we're gonna see him in season 3, so that there's a chance. There's a chance. Is it a big chance? I mean, I think they're gonna do everything Mando anyway. So, with so many things coming up, I'll push this on the back burner, and if I have money at that time, then I'll pick it up. If not, nowadays with the prices of these guys, you don't really want to settle anymore, especially if for an ongoing saga like Mandalorian, that you'll have a second chance. So, You got to be smart with how you spend your money here. So just just be smart. Like, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just not again what we expect from Hot Toys. But lately, kind of like we've been expecting that lately now. So in this portrait, he looks good, but like straight on cheeks, jawline, a lot of things going on there that I don't agree with. So it's all right. And I'm a bit disappointed because they're really good with older head sculpts. Like older, I mean people like that are old with a lot of texture on it, wrinkles and all that stuff. This one has some. The cheeks are not intact, so it's decent still. It's still pretty good, I would say. But if you are debating between this and another figure, let's say IG-11, I would always suggest IG-11 first. So, all right, let's do something a bit more positive here. Threezero releasing the Power Rangers line for really cheap, 550. I mean, you can't go cheaper than this, guys. I mean, it's less than 100 per figure. I think it's cheaper than Ace Toys. I'm not even a Power Rangers fan, but I'll get this. They look good post. If there's anything positive that happened in 2000 in 2020, at least in the collecting world, I would say that would be 3-0 stepping up and giving us hope that it there's 1/6 figure can be cheap and look good at the same time. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. I mean, any shortcomings this one have, again, it's $91, man. You got to you got to put your expectations where the money's at. That's why I'm a little bit more lenient towards third party and Asmus and 3-0. The expectations are a bit less. So, you know, that's where we at. But for 550, I mean, and this is the best product I would say of Ace Toys. They literally put them out of business. Ace Toys got to think of something new now because like 3-0 just totally undercut them and they're gonna be in trouble, man. All right, let me go back to the chat real quick here. Big Dog, wait. I will wait for when the date gets closer. Man, as we've learned from this past few months, no point in pre-ordering. You're just gonna get screwed. Brett says, I don't pre-order figures with sculpts until I see them actually released these days. Marco Polo, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Comics, did you see the transport driver from Mando get leaked? Oh, man, I didn't even capture the picture of that. Yes, I did see that, Comics. Time to unload those shore troopers so you can make money. That's all I got to say. Big Dog, do you think pandemic has affected their production quality? Maybe. I don't really want to blame that there because how come other figures are better than others, and they've always been like this. Papa Fett, happy to catch you live. Hey, happy to have you here, Papa Fett. DK12, I need to be impressed at the final release. Lessons learned. Hey, man, we live and learn, right? Erwin, what's going on, my man? DK12, I'm just getting the Green Ranger. That's enough for me to scratch the itch. I don't blame you, but the price, bro. Big Dog, do you like the Iron Man Mark 47 reissue? Funny thing is I didn't buy that. I might just buy that now and just cancel 85 altogether. I don't know yet. I still want to keep my pre-order for 85, but like Brett says, the longer I look at it, the less inclined I am to keep it. And J-Rod, what's up, my man? And Jeffrey says it's official too. I agree, Jeffrey. Man, anytime that there's an official release, I kind of tend to go there because they have all the licenses and it's better, especially if the official is cheaper than the third party. So that's where I stand with that, man. Looks good. Looks good. I know Ace Toys has a few problems like the joints. I know the wrist pegs, some nipples showing up there and all that stuff. Like it's cold. Looks good. I mean, it's a pretty basic figure, honestly, but the price is pretty basic as well. So you can't really complain all that much. This Green Ranger looks good. I think if you buy them separately, it's only like 10 or $15 more. So, somebody if you just want the Green Ranger, like DK12 says, hey, can't blame you with that. Then we got Storm Shadow. Man, why is this picture so tiny? Got released, not released, but got announced for pre-order 144. Again, another solid price by Threezero. Even if you're not into this line, for 145, 144, if you put it on Big Bad, I mean, can't really go wrong, you know? Even if it's horrible, if you get the parts and everything, which I highly doubt it's horrible. I mean, it looks good. Just put your expectations at 150. Hot Toys has never, I don't know, I don't even know when was the last time Hot Toys hit 150. And I'm dating back to like 2010 here when I first started collecting Hot Toys. So it's amazing what Threezero is doing, guys. I mean, with a bow, two swords, and you partner with Snake Eyes, man. I hope Threezero rolls with this line as long as they could. Back in the day when I was younger, I was collecting those 6-inch GI Joes. I might do it again. Look at how good they look together, man. Let me zoom it in real quick. And you see this two looking really cool? That's $288, my guys. And if you put it on Big Bad, the shipping is $4 if you do it a pile of loot. So it's not like, you're looking at $350. No, you're literally looking at maybe $300 with tax. And how much was 85 again? 430. Just saying. Man. That looks fantastic, man. All right. Let me go back to the chat real quick. All right, so we got some few people coming in. Well, welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us here. I know it's kind of late, but I can't let this pass. This is a very exciting moment. We've never had this much anger from the community for a while. But so that's what we talk about here, man. We talk about like things like this. Let's see, Jeffrey, it's official too. Just snagged the Green Ranger. Eddie, yo, I'm here for the terrible head sculpt. Hey, man, everyone is here for the terrible head sculpt. J-Rod, Ant-Man, and 85 were done by the same sculpture. Why does that guy still have a job? That's my question. Danilo, what's going on, my man? Mark 85 battle damage can be better. I hope it is. Eddie, have you seen the new Tony Stark head sculpt on Toys Wonderland? So much better than Hot Toys. Eddie, I have the Max Knot head sculpt, and it's so much better than Hot Toys, even the 85. J-Rod says, I feel like the Mark 47 is better value compared to Mark 85, and the head sculpt is better. You know what, J-Rod? You might have something there because the head sculpt is better. 47 is what, 340 or 374, something like that. It has those missile pods. 85 has the back part, which doesn't light up anyway. Hey, might be something there, man. Eddie, it's called GT Plus. Brett, at least Ant-Man sculpt was funny. Hey, I give it exactly, Brett. DK12, the 85 unintentionally elevated 47. I agree, man. All of a sudden, 47 is the way to go. I might even pick up 47 because I'm really having doubts with my clean 85 now. Even though I said on the video that I'm still gonna pick it up. Like Brett says, the longer you look at it, because I am gonna have the battle damage 85 regardless. So I might just give this one up, I don't know. It might go cheaper, kind of like 50 if they overproduce this and people cancel their pre-orders. You never know. Arwin says, I already have the Sideshow Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow 1/6 figures, but definitely getting these new ones from Threezero. Erwin, don't blame you, man. So cheap. Jazzy, what's up, man? Started collecting Enterbay. I want Shaq so bad, but it's sold out everywhere. Yeah, Jazzy, man, you're a little behind. You might have to overpay, but honestly, unless you're a huge fan of Shaq, which I'm assuming you are, you're not missing much. KG, what's up, my man? I just subscribed to your channel, by the way. 85 will sit for a long time in Sideshow and BBTS. Eddie, 47, 46 are the best Iron Man figures to date, in my opinion. You are not wrong, Eddie. Oh God, 85 looks like Vincent Price. Genuinely shocked how bad it is. 85 is must have a relic. And Mario said it on the video. They better not mess up 85 battle damage. We'll give them a pass here, but not 85 battle damage. James C, what's up, my man? Optical 20, watching from Sydney while I post my new solo mall that came yesterday. Man, it's a good figure too, man. Congratulations. All right, so Storm Shadow, you can see what it. Oh no, I'm not sharing my screen here. Let's do that. All right, so we're looking at Storm Shadow from Threezero. This is what it all comes with for a mere price of $147. Nunchucks, some bow. Man, this thing is loaded for the price. No brainer. Now let's go to some third party goodness here. We're just running through this, man. Mr. Butcher, man, I thought So Toys was gone. What happened? Making a comeback? I mean, I'm glad though. I'm glad. I am honestly glad. I think third party is good for collectors. Obviously bad for licensor, but I really don't care about them or Hot Toys. But this looks good. At least this head sculpt looks good. One problem I do have with Mr. Butcher, though, is he is a bit expensive. So this is what it comes with. Pretty decent amount. 2 head sculpts. You got, I think that's 50 caliber sniper rifle. You got the M4. Baby, a crowbar. Some drill in there. I don't even know what that thing is. It's that the taser. And a vial for $189, I believe, $190. So the price is not bad for what you're getting. However, it's third party, so I have a certain rule. Third party shouldn't come close to a manufacturer that pays license, and Threezero is cheaper than you. So I don't know what you're doing there here. So and here's the problem when you buy this figure. You might be tempted to buy the 7, which I think they will do as well. Now, that's a lot of money for third party. So if you buy Billy Butcher, I'm guessing you're gonna buy Homelander. You might buy Homelander, it might trickle down. Then your next would be Starlight or Noir. Man, that could be an expensive journey. So think about it before you buy these things. This one does look good. I wish they didn't include a second head sculpt and made this 160, 150. That's just me. Okay. But like again, it looks good. I like it. I like the fact that they exist. Not a big fan of this head sculpt. I don't know why. Just doesn't look like him. This one does, especially if you make the other half dark. You get that Rembrandt effect there. Looks good, man. Like it. And the baby has light up eyes too. All right. This one I already pre-ordered. I talked to Enterbay. They actually just emailed me earlier. Hopefully I get this early January. I already talked to them and they're trying to get this to me early. I hope they're not giving me a like messed up thing. I paid for this. Like it's like $300. It's really expensive, guys, for a basketball figure that comes with an outfit of a jersey. So yep, I like this. I'm gonna get it. I wish this had a second head sculpt, but a must-have. You know, regardless of how you feel about LeBron James. Hey, man, don't like him as a player. I'm still, you know, a huge Jordan fan, but I honestly think when it's all said and done, he'll be up there. If he's not already up there, he might be the second best of all time. So grab this while you can. If you're a basketball fan, if you're an Enterbay fan, Do it. Because unlike Hot Toys, Enterbay actually sells out. So keep an eye on this. All right, let me go back real quick here. Universal, what's going on, my man? Universal Black 72. Do you believe Sideshow can take over companies despite the quality issues? No. Universal, first and foremost, they gotta be realistic with their price. They got some good figures, especially the X-Men animated series, but they can't price themselves like Hot Toys because their quality is not Hot Toys. If they start lowering down, and we can see it's possible, you see what Threezero is doing. They got to do that to make some noise. Otherwise, you're always going to see Magneto with free shipping and $20 attached to it. Hey, Lewis, what's going on? James C. Hot Toys will announce a new Ledger Joker figure in 2021. They seem to be redoing Dark Knight Trilogy line. The line is a DC cash cow for Hot Toys. James, that opened the door for Hot Toys. The Dark Knight line, they owe it to Hot Toys. They owe it to Avengers, and specifically Iron Man, where they're at today. KG, worried about the battle damage Iron Man and Christian Bale head sculpt. You better believe it. I hope you guys are wrong, but there's every reason to be worried now. Eddie, do you think COVID has anything to do with the Tony head? No, man. I don't think so. Because otherwise everyone would be affected. How come we got, Commander Cody, Krennic, Nebula? There was COVID back then. It's actually easier for Tony Stark because they've done him like a gazillion times. There's no reason to have a step back like this. James, Seattle Patrol hinted the new Joker is coming, hinted about DX19 right before it was announced too. He was a good source apparently. I don't know. Every we've been 20. It's either Joker or Mark 1. We're kind of like throwing it up in the air there. Lewis says, just sharing, I'm disappointed with the RDJ head sculpt on the recently released Iron Man Mark 85. Seriously, the head sculpt is extremely inferior to the head sculpt shown in the Hot Toy side. I think we can all agree to that. JB, what's going on, man? DK12 Soso created a new Facebook page and they survived Mickey's attack. Man, Soso Toys is like it's like a cockroach, man. You can't kill it. I mean, it won't die. You gotta kill it. Ben, what's up, man? Got interesting 1-6 drama to discuss today. Yay. Doesn't happen every day, man. Jazzy says, when is LeBron coming out? According to Enterbay, it's like first quarter, but you know how vague first quarter is? It's like January to March, but I asked them if they can send mine early, and they said they'll try it like super early on January. So crossing fingers. Yeah, hopefully we get it. J-Rod, as a Kings fan, this is a no. Lane Kramer, looks interesting for LeBron. That LeBron would shoot up in price after Space Jam 2. I agree. Bro, is $400 worth it for Steph Curry 1/6? I personally wouldn't buy any Enterbay, especially secondhand for that price. But if you're a huge fan of Steph Curry, you know what? It's hard to say with Enterbay, man. It's not like Hot Toys. We're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna do another Obi-Wan. Enterbay is like going down. So you never know when they're going to be bankrupt. They're going to be bankrupt anytime soon. So, but to answer your question, I wouldn't buy it. Me personally, I wouldn't. Lane, first time in your stream. Well, welcome, Lane. I'm glad you're able to join. Danilo, after all the complaining about this head, I'm sure Hot Toys will do a Mark 85 head sculpt carefully. I pre-ordered this and I hope they do better. I hope so too, man. E-Revisions, what's going on, my man? Let's see. Universal Heath Ledger is their biggest seller. I would say it's Iron Man, but Heath Ledger is up there, man. One of the most sought after, I would say. Lane Kramer, have you tried listen to your advice to hold off to getting old figures? I ended up getting Rogue One Vader today for $292. See, hey man, sometimes I'm not always right, but sometimes I make sense. Sometimes. Lewis, I feel like Hot Toys should redo Mark 85 head sculpt and provide them free of charge to oh man, that is not gonna happen, Lewis. I've been dealing with Hot Toys for 10 years now. That ain't gonna happen. Erwin, Hot Toys best RDJ head sculpt, Mark 50. Anyone? I agree, man. 50, I think so far is the best. Again, that's not saying much. Congratulations, Lane. He-Man, keep dreaming, mate. All right. I'm diehard Golden State fan and don't vibe with LeBron, but this Enterbay piece looks nice. Hey, I'm a Bulls fan, man. This guy eliminated us when we were at our peak on the 2010s with Derrick Rose. This guy has eliminated us more times than I can count, but I'm a basketball fan, though. So I appreciate a good athlete. So I'm going to get him, regardless of how I feel about him, how I feel about his game and all that stuff. I got to get him. Ben says, you see the new Mando Transport Trooper? Yeah, Ben. You know what? I initially thought? Time to sell those shore troopers. KG, do Hot Toys ever redo figures if they are horrible when released? Absolutely not, KG. It doesn't matter if they have not even horrible, because horrible is like that head sculpt, right? I think we can all agree that that's not the best head sculpt. But you can make the argument that it's subjective, right? I don't believe in that, but I think it's a bad head sculpt. But you can make that argument. Now, quality control issues. Hot Toys has a bunch of those. They never recall them. So much more so on a perception, So yeah, that is not going to happen. Marco says it's been a while since EB has new figs. I agree, man. I agree. JB, Marvel and Star Wars is Hot Toys bread and butter. Yep, right. Especially now. I would even say it's only exclusively Star Wars, JB. Marvel still sells a lot, but they have like a few remaining Marvel that they can cash on, and 85 was one of them, and they dropped the ball. Okay, I wonder if enough collector canceled their pre-orders of the 85, they will address the head sculpt issue. They would never address that, Lewis. I've never seen them address anything. They don't even want to talk about it. They won't, but that might prompt them to do better on the next one. Here says the Curry one they did isn't that great in my opinion. Wasn't digging the portrait. It's not. It's actually pretty good. I did a review on that. It's not the best, but it's goddamn better than this 85 that we got. I can tell you that. Lane, what did you think about Nebula head sculpt for her figure? I might be getting Gamora as a Christmas presents. If she is gotten, I feel need to get the Nebula too. I think Nebula is one of their better head sculpts that they produced this year, man. So I think Hatsu is what their peak around the release of Civil War, Guardians 2, and Ragnarok. I agree, man. I would agree with you on that one. He-Man, what do you think of Hot Toys will do about their awful head sculpt in their recent releases? Absolutely nothing, He-Man. Huck Notu, good talk tonight. Hey, good talk, man. Any buzz on Sideshow Skiff Guard yet? Is it available on their site? I'm thinking about getting it. I think it's gonna ship sometime this next month, if not released this month. But yeah, it's really soon. J-Rod, best head sculpt Hot Toys ever made is some would say Krennic. I personally would be, to me, the one that I've seen. I haven't seen Krennic in hand, but I've heard a lot of people say good things about Krennic, and I tend to agree. But for me, the one that I've seen, it's because it's a combination of purse, rooted hair, and good head sculpt is Jack Sparrow. I mean, it has everything that you want. Interchangeable face, rooted hair, at least semi-rooted, and purse. So JGT Dragon, you think Hot Toys is going to reissue DX11? JGT, I think that's on DX20. I could be wrong. I don't think it's a straight re-release, but I think it's going to be Joker. Oh, DK12 says Hot Toys just posted a new figure. Let's take a look. Lewis, oh, you're welcome. KG says they need to work communication. Hey, try KG giving you try emailing them. You're gonna get a generic response. It's horrible. Their customer service has been horrible and it never improved. That's what the Sideshow tax is for. Because Hot Toys has horrible customer service. Let's see what the new figure is. Let's all take a look at the same time. All right, logging in now. JB says, I really hope they get a new look. Oh, I'm pretty sure they will. All right. Oh, what a shocker. Here you go. Let's take a look at this, guys. Oh, Transport Trooper. It looks good. So if you missed out on the Shore Trooper, I know they're different stormtroopers, but you get the idea. They looks somewhat similar here. This would pass. This would do. I actually like this better. Kind of reminds me of like the Mud Trooper look because of the color scheme, but with fabric pants like Shore Trooper. I like this. And you can pretend bandos inside. You know, it has a little bit more significance that way. Ooh, see the one in the background? Yeah, that's coming too. And these are easy pickings for Hot Toys. Imagine they're not going to get crucified because of the head sculpt. They already got the mold for this. Easy money for Hot Toys. Hey, who doesn't like easy money, right? As a company, that's what you're striving for. Is these easy pickings right here. All right, let's go to Braun, man. LeBron James. I'm excited about this figure, by the way. Papa Fed, look at the Hot Toys. Oh, yeah, we did that. James C, 85 and 85 battle damage is the same person, but I think the Quantum Suit head sculpt is a different person. Could always get a loose Quantum head on eBay and use that on the 85. Or you can just buy a third-party head sculpt, like Max Nut. But the point is, man, they got $400. They got to do better. Are you planning on getting the Hot Toys lives? Nope, not at all. Not getting to the child hype. Yep, Brett says they just announced Tank Trooper and the Short Trooper variant. Joff says, I just wish Hot Toys was more transparent and would communicate with their customers more, provide us with more updates as you make figures Hot Toys. Yep, they should take a page out of Asmus. Asmus does terrible head sculpts. By terrible, I mean kind of like the one that we saw in 85. But boy, they communicate with their client. They're excellent when it comes to customer service. One thing I would always applaud Asmus for. Erwin says Hot Toys Avengers Hulk 1 head sculpt is good. Also with purse. I agree. Eddie says, take a look at the Tony head sculpt in Toys Wonderland. I'd like to know what you think. I think I've seen that, Eddie. I'd still stick with Max Nut. Comic says no head sculpt. Oh yeah, we've seen that coming. Easy pass for me, according to KG. What is your Type 5 Mando line from season 2 you want to get? All right, it's Mando Monday. The ban has been lifted. I wanted a Mandalorian, a Mando with a head sculpt. That's my number one. Kara, maybe those Dark Troopers. Third, Luke, if you can put him in there. Also, I already have Luke, so it doesn't matter to me. But for those who doesn't, and Bo-Katan, that would be nice. Joff says, would you say Hot Toys is less ambitious? Oh yeah, definitely, Joff. Yeah, definitely. They know they're the king now. And when you're the king of the mountain, if no one's chasing you, if you're running and no one's chasing you, you jog. So they're not sprinting anymore. Universal says army build is possible with Transport Trooper. How many? Oh man, dude, you're getting to a Danny Lee category here. Jack says, what's going on, Jack? Can we get an overweight Harden? Oh man, J-Rod, man, that's your guy right there. That is your guy. Ben says, you really like Asmus as a company. They certainly are more transparent, responsive. I agree, Ben. Dealt with them for 4 years now. Them and Star Ace. You can say anything about those guys, but love those guys as a company, man. Big Dog, is Max Nut reliable and how is their customer service? Yeah, man. Max Nut is pretty good. I talked to Max Nut, personally. Cool dude. But yeah, the customer service is pretty good too. I think they're having a sale now. And honestly, their sculpt is, better than Hot Toys, in my opinion, but that's just me. Speaking of which, so let's look at that. I actually prepped something because I saw them. So I think we can all agree. I don't know if you guys, but Mark 50 has the best head sculpt prior, like right now. maybe before we see battle damage Mark 85. And as good as that Mark 50 is, after seeing Max Nut, I oh shoot, Dave says Steelers just lost to the Bengals. Uh-oh. Man. I didn't watch Monday Night Football Day because we won yesterday. I was so upset with Philadelphia. Man, all you gotta do is beat Cardinals, and you can't even do that. KG, when is Cap coming out? Supposedly this, recent, in this soon release, man. I don't know, but all right. So for those who's looking for an alternate head sculpt for 85, first and foremost, you shouldn't because you paid 430. But I get it, guys. All right, so I'm just put like a comparison here. So this is 85. I mean, Mark 50. Pretty good sculpt. This is Tony Stark, and this is Max Nut. Yeah, maybe the paint application is not, as great as Hot Toys, but you can see kind of like the fault with 85 with Mark 52 that the shape of the face, like the jawline is a bit wide. I don't think they got the eyes. His eyes, more round than they appear in here. The stash is a little, like no. And you got this, which is a little too strong. Like the lines is too strong in my opinion. So even their, quote unquote best one, it's not really there. Because this is a screenshot from Infinity Wars where Mark 50 is from. And we all know this is a recycle from 46 and 47. But, Louis says he likes the head sculpt on the right. Oh man, a lot better than the 85 that they showed for sure. But even at that, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually the best head sculpt that I've seen from as Tony Stark in Hot Toys. But I don't know. Because even at this, if you position it right, like I can position it right here and it won't, like fade in the way it should because there's just too many discrepancies, like the eyes, the jawline. I think this is their weakness because they did it with Moth, where there's a difference between sharp jawlines and strong. This is strong, and his is, it's like it's the skin is drooping because he's older. But all right, I prepped something in here, but let's see, because even at this, oops, did I lost it? Oh yeah, I closed it. That's all right. But yeah, I mean, oh, here you go. Let's try this out. Because I did this on one of my videos. All right, so I turned it off. I mean, I can do this for the 52, but like I don't know if I can do that for 50. I think they captured like his wrinkles and all that stuff. Let's go back here. One thing you can say, I would say, is that like they're I don't know what Hot Toys uses on their paint, but the last 85 that they did looks like third party. That one does look like third party. All right, let's go back here real quick. 85 is the best. I like, yeah, the right. Agree, Threezero is smoking the Bumblebee transform. Dude, the Transformer line is really good. They're diecast and their price is just right. Dave says Dave nailed it in the head, man. It's strange that Hot Toys still has to nail RDJ's head sculpt. I don't get it. I don't get it either, Dave. It's how many Ironmans do they have to do to finally nail the head sculpt? I don't know. KG says the head sculpt of the 85 shape is right. I don't know, KG, because from the front that I'm seeing it, he is skinny, right? But his face looks like it's pointed, like from here to the chin. You can see like he doesn't have a strong jawline, but his like face is he's older. That's what happens when you're older. Like like your cheeks kind of sag a little bit. I think that's what problem with the 85 is. So AJ, is there a cable figure that has come out already? No, AJ, not yet. If you're talking about the third party one, that came out a long time ago. I think Ben says I think the new head is honestly worse than the Mark 4 to 5 diecast. It could be, Ben, because I think that the problem with that head sculpt is it's so soft. The problem with 4 and 5 is that he was younger back then, and Hot Toys was lazy to do a recast, to do a new sculpt for those. So they used the old ones and just made some changes on the paint. Honestly, Hot Toys, if they can get away with being lazy, they would. Eddie says, if the battle damage version head sculpt doesn't turn out great, do you think 4647 will go up in value? I think they're all going to go up in value, Eddie. It's just a matter of time. The only reason they're not going up in value is because they're widely available. Well, 46 is already up there. Every Iron Man, honestly, even this 85, the clean version, as soon as it sells out, it's going to go up in value. I mean, look at Obi-Wan. That's not a great head sculpt. It went up in value. The value is not determined by how good the figure is. Value is determined by how rare the figure is in this hobby, unfortunately. Oh, Big Dog, do you like the Black Panther head sculpt and the Eric Killmonger? Oh man, the Black Panther is not even close, man. It's not even close. The Killmonger, Hot Toys didn't do bad on the Killmonger. On the Black Panther, they did horrible. So it's not even close. Max not killed them. Max not, it's embarrassing Hot Toys right now. Especially with this 85. They didn't do any justice here. Lane says, I would say the face sculpt of reissue Pepper seemed like it was pretty good, but Tony looks ugly. Yeah. I honestly don't think anyone would recognize the new sculpt as RDJ if they didn't have the trademark goatee. I agree, man. If hunters aren't going to do perfect sculpts, then just drop the prices down. Yep. Jay Young's IG page was getting so much hate when he posted the 85 head sculpt. Dude, I hate Dave. Isn't that he called us man babies? James, he's supply and demands, my friends. I agree, James. It's not determined by how good a figure is. It's supply and demand, because otherwise, their figure is better than DX11 and Mark 47 at that time, but they're not getting the love because they're not really sold out. Erwin says Mark 7 is criminally underrated. Erwin, the only reason it's underrated, it's because it's available. The moment it goes on wait list, people are going to want that and the price is going to shoot up. Mark 7 is always going to be the iconic. Well, not iconic. I would say that's Mark 4. I love the Mark 4. But 7 is like what the people, I would say, recognize as far as like Avengers or so. So JB is asking, did you see the new head sculpt they're making for Days of Future Past Wolverine with mask? Is that the third party, JB? Big Dog, should I get the Max Nut Black Panther head sculpt Eric Killmonger 3-pack? Big Dog, I don't think they're selling just the Black Panther. So yeah, I mean the Killmonger, I'm gonna have a review of that soon. But as far as Black Panther, think of it this way, man. Unless they re-release Black Panther, which they might not have a chance of redeeming themselves from that awful head sculpt that they released there. Where is that? Okay. And it's funny, people were saying like he has some bags underneath his eyes on the Maxnut head sculpt for like Black Panther. I mean, he does have that line. If you look closely, he does have it when he makes facial expression. So All right, let's move forward here. All right, so we're done with LeBron. This is another release that is a bit kind of questionable, really, man. Job says Hot Toys prices keeps climbing up and quality keeps dropping overall. Something needs to change. They know they're king, and I agree, Jeff. That's where 3-0 comes in, man. And hopefully they do good. They said, man, JC is one sensitive dude apparently. Eddie says I want to get that Max Nut Black Panther for my Civil War figure, but it doesn't match his look from that film. Should I still get it? I would say so, Eddie, because honestly, Max he made that head sculpt for the Civil War. I mean, that's his base mold. That is the best likeness for Chadwick. Hot Toys wasn't even close, and we all knew that when we got Hot Toys, but we're all blind. You know, kind of, it's the only one that we have. We have no choice. They got us on a chokehold. That's the problem, and so we still buy it. All right. Not only at 85 is getting some heat. Look at this guy right here. I haven't played the game. I heard there's a lot of bugs in this game. But besides the game, this is another lazy attempt by Hot Toys. The body just doesn't seem right. The head sculpt is realistic. The hair is not. They just it feels like one of those app on iPhones where you put the head, you know, like your face in somebody's head. Look at the gap between the forehead and it's like squished in. Look at this, like the forehead to the hairline, and then the yeah. Cage says everybody loves the pleather pants. Yep, especially if you're in Asia. Oh, that would be a nightmare. At least on humid countries, but yeah, and this is more expensive than most Hot Toys figures. I think this is like 285 or something. Yep, J Rod says 285. KG says long nap. I agree. JB says hate, don't like that fig or game. I haven't even played the game, but you know what? There's certain figures that are so good that I buy it even without knowing what it is. Like as a figure lover, you know, like I'm as you know, as you guys know, I'm just starting to get into Star Wars. I bought Commander Cody. So, and because that is an excellent figure, I can't say the same thing for this guy. Just proportionally, it just looks off. Yeah, this is the John Wick head sculpt that they just put a little bit more texture in it, like the forehead, some lines on the face, and slap a hair on it and called it a day. Man. Universe is enjoying the stream. Thank you, my man. Speaking of Black Panther, do you think Hot Toys will release Alec Killmonger in his alternate outfit, being the military uniform? Long overdue. I doubt it. I doubt it, man. I highly doubt it. Your best bet would be to just buy a head sculpt because Max not produce that head sculpt and then just kit bash it. Erwin says Hot Toys might be relying too much on YouTubers to push their products and convince it's the best head sculpt. Speaking of which, guys, have you seen um OSR? Man, all their bloggers, all the Hot Toys apologizers are at full blast, man. They're full power defending the 85 head sculpt. Man, it is funny. Like I've never seen Alex Brooks, you know, participate in all these madness, and then he's putting his 2 cents in, and I love it, man. Like everyone has a voice. I hate censorship, so say what you want. They're defending Hot Toys, and they're rightfully so. They're employed by them. I don't know if they're getting paid by their blogger picks. They should, because they're doing excellent job on it. So their job is to kind of defend them. All right, so here we are, 85. Finally got there. This is so much enhanced. It's not even funny. It doesn't even look like the figure anymore. this this has so much paint in it that it doesn't. I mean, this is a bad representation of the figure. I would say this is so digital. Me and a PJ were talking about it last night. It seems like a girl that you saw on Instagram, and then you saw her in person. It was like, what the heck? Okay, here you go. All right. So those apologizers. Okay, first and foremost, I want to put my stand on this. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just not good. Uh, to a point where I think they took two steps back. And is it a reason not to buy the figure because of the head sculpt? Could be. Some people, and I've seen, these are the excuse that I've seen. Um, it's a prototype. The prototype is different. All right. It can't work both ways. If the prototype is bad and they release a good one, sort of like with Gamora, and then you praise them. So it goes both ways. If you release a prototype that's really good, like the JC Hong when he's holding it, if you show something like that and release it's bad, you got to take the bad with the good and the good with the bad. That's all I'm saying here. Some people are saying, oh, it's the lighting. This is BG toy art. What kind of lighting else do you want? I mean, all their blogger pics represents the picture. Again, is this a reason not to buy a figure? Put it this way. Why don't you guys buy Asmus or Threezero for that matter? Because their head sculpt is subpar. And when Asmus released their Aragorn, man, they got crucified on their Facebook page because it doesn't look good. Why would Hot Toys be an exception? Our bar should be higher when it comes to Hot Toys because they're the Michael Jordan or the LeBron James of 1/6. So why would they be any different? So, and I love when the Hot Toys apologies comes out of the woodwork and just defend all these things. The figure itself, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. We've seen third party doing this in a smaller scale, in a bigger scale. Once you get the formula with this Iron Man, the paint application, the light up functionality, you're good, right? You're good. What made Hot Toys famous is their head sculpt. So I think it's just fair once you start criticizing their head sculpt. They took major step back on this. Not only, I think the shape of the face is wrong. It's really soft. And for whatever reason, they have this finish where it doesn't shine as it used to be. Like you get that shine, that glow from 50 or other head sculpt. He just looks flat when a light hits it. Again, it's not that bad, but it's also not good. Like you can say, oh, we recognize it's RDJ. Yeah, you could. Same as with Threezero, for example. Like, who was their bad head sculpt? Like Rick Grimes back then. It's Rick Grimes. It's still pretty bad. It's a bad Rick Grimes, but it's Rick Grimes. Asmus, it's Aragorn, but it's a pretty bad looking representation of Aragorn. So, oh god, oh man, J-Rod just crossed the line here. It says it like Mitch Trubisky. Hey, J-Rod, we call him Maserati Mitch in here in Chicago, all right? He won 2 games in a row. Lou says, I'm ready for a 3-0 to take on Hot Toys. I'm so disappointed with Mark 85 head sculpt. Hot Toys had to get this one right. They got to get the 85 battle damage right. They have to. KG says, just needs more texture wrinkles. That would certainly help. That would help. Aaron says, Vince Price. Damon says, Max Nut looks like Undertaker. Alex says, I cancel my Aragorn because of the head sculpt. See, that's a valid concern. Job says, in my opinion, one who had to work sculpts in a while, seeing cheap third-party head sculpts that are way better. I agree. Alex, the Bilbo one is on point. I agree with that, Alex. That and Gimli is on point. Jay, Dave says he looks like a member of a K-pop juggernaut. Jones, maybe it's the figure of Robert's stunt double. Yep. Damon Love, my first impression. Okay. Damon Love. I don't know. I don't know, Damon, where you got that impression, but uh, Lane says there's been any sightings of the mantis from Guardians. They kind of like teased it, Lane. Oh, Damon, yeah, I am. Lewis, thank you. I agree. The head sculpt has to be right. The prototype shown in the hot is it's miles better. Yep. Hey Eddie, what's going on, my man? Eddie says, I bet Justin is gonna say something to convince us that it's not that bad. The armor looks cheap in secret base. Oh wow. Okay, so like yeah, again, with all being fair in here, the head sculpt is oh my god, look at this. It has that shine of a third-party figure, right? You remember those SW toys that I reviewed? You remember those shiny hands? And it's so awful because it's shiny. It has that effect on this face for whatever reason. It does. And it's unfortunate. And again, you can't say it's the angles. It has bad lighting. These are blogger pictures. They're the best photographers that Hot Toys has to offer. Even CGE Rock. I kind of like CGE Rock's work nowadays because he doesn't use heavy photoshopping. He kind of used like a mixture of practical effects and Photoshop that I appreciate as a photographer. And even him, look at this. Even him can't save this. Yeah. No. Was this Jingle Bell? Oh, Jingle Bell said best Hot Toys head sculpt ever made. Oh man, they probably got some note from the Hot Toys bigwigs saying, "Hey man, we're getting attacked." And plus, it's their work, man. They worked hard for these pictures, and I agree. They got to do what they got to do. But as consumers, hey man, they can't look at this shine right here. That is, I think, the biggest problem was it has this sort of coating where the shape of the face is already not there, and then you take out the texture, and then you coat it with whatever third party's coating. A bad combo. All right, so as an armor, looks fantastic. Looks great. Dave says, I can't let this one slide. They must nail the market the battle damage. I agree, Dave. I definitely agree. Alex says, at least Asmus know they messed up and will probably get it right when they do Return of the King Aragorn. That's what we're just asking for, Alex, for the longest time. Acknowledge it. They won't. They won't, though. We messed up. You know what? We're not going to knock down the price. Asmus went back to the drawing board and redid the Aragorn head sculpt. They still didn't get it right, but at least you can appreciate the transparency of the company. I can appreciate that. And you know what? Like I can honestly even support that. Irvin says, it is what it is. Just don't mess up on the 85. Since 2020 is coming to a close, what's the best figure of the year for you? Certainly not the 85. No, not the 85, Joff. I think it's Threezero Rambo. Universal says, it almost looked like Prince. Just saying. KG, this works for the future of Hot Toys if they're going to bring this out. Yep. Yeah. Alex says the front view RDJ shows messed up. Yep. I hope the end game cap hasn't had anything like this. I hope, Eddie. I mean, I hope. You know what the sad part is? This is the last few figures that we're getting as a Marvel fan. You know, I'm starting to like Star Wars, and that's fine. You can like many franchises. Even though I like Star Wars, starting to like Star Wars now, I still love Marvel. I want them to do good. Diecast, hey, long time no see, man. Like last night. Lane says, man, you think that is shiny? How bad do you think the effect would be on Wonder Woman gold armor coming next year? Oh, yeah. Yep. I know. No, I'm talking Lane. I'm talking about his face. His face is kind of shiny, like the unmasked head sculpt. Aaron says, I feel like the figure itself needs a little bulk. Yep. Eddie, I'm more upset the back piece doesn't light up, and I'm about to. Yeah. Eddie, I agree, man. For $400, throw us a bone here, man. James, to be honest, I'm not a fan of any of the blogger picks. I'll wait for reviews. Doesn't look good in this picks, but I think a definitive decision made once reviewers gets it. Brad says Rambo Sculpt blows us away. I agree, man. How do you feel about the Elven Ranger assortment by Asmus? Alex, I don't have any problems with it, especially it's less than 200. The swordsman, no, the Ranger is more expensive. I have a problem with the price. And as one of the members here pointed out, Danny, there's some discrepancy on the bow, but knowing Asmus, they're gonna fix it. They're not the best, but we need a stiff competition to Hot Toys, and I really hope it's 3-0, man. I really does hope it's 3-0 because otherwise, we're gonna get crap like this. We are, and look at this. I'm gonna put this aside here. And just put this up real quickly here. These are the defense that you're here. If you go to OSR and you got the Hot Toys defenders, well, prototype. This is prototype, not final rendition. Whatever. Bad lighting, bad angles. Wait till you get it in hand. Well, it was in somebody's hand. And it's not like the picture was, it's not like there's a flash blowing in its face. There isn't. But there's a kind of like a big difference between the two. I understand it's not going to look exactly as, like when they're testing it out. I get that. But there's pretty big significant difference in here. Let me go back here. Diecast, he looks like he's afraid to snap his fingers. Yeah, man. Aqua Boy, did JC Hung sculpt this? I hope now. No, J Rod says it's the same guy who sculpted Ant-Man. Arvin says 3 diecast. Your personal picks. 57 and 4. IELTS Kivo. I always wanted to get one, but they are pretty expensive. Yeah, man. They're up there. That's why I don't blame the people who's up in the air, who their arms are up in the air with this release. I've seen one excuse where, well, we have like 5 Iron Man. Why don't you just get a head sculpt from one of those? Well, what if this is somebody else's first Iron Man? What if this is going to be their only Iron Man? That's not a thing. That's not an excuse. That sounds, I mean, that's, this is $400, guys. $400. I'm not saying it's that bad, but we're certainly not getting good here. KG says, still pre-order the figure and we'll keep it because I love Nano and would like be my first Iron Man. KG, as an Iron Man, it looks fantastic. And some people are like, another excuse, I'm just gonna put the head sculpt in. I mean the helmet anyway. I'm not even gonna use the head sculpt. You do know you're paid for the head sculpt, right? It's kind of like, yeah, if they're gonna sell the Iron Man by itself, I'll be happy to buy it for $370. Trust me, I'll be happy to buy it without this head sculpt. But they won't. And I'll buy a Maxnon head sculpt for $70, but they won't. You paid for it. As a matter of fact, that's their bread and butter. Like, again, that's what they're known for, and they're gonna keep us something like this. Marin Mock, why are we get a transfer trooper? There's no other figures. Marin, they know the to answer that, Marin, they know the hype for short trooper, so they're capitalizing on it. Lane says, Lane, I've always wanted to get that Midas figure, but it's pretty expensive. That I wish I have, I could as an only figure. Absolutely not, Lane. No, not only. Eddie says, what's the one on the left? Prototype? Yes, sir. Diecast says, I thought the backpack light up due to the price. Oh, no, no diecast. Absolutely not. What's up with that? Kojun sculpted Ant-Man in 85 head sculpt, but he left Hot Toys and didn't allow Hot Toys to use his sculpts. Hot Toys had to make new sculpts quickly, and they are bad. It shows. And I wonder why they didn't delay it. Just delay it to make it right. Like Gamora. I'm pretty sure they didn't delay Gamora to make it right. They delayed Gamora because they prioritized other figures. But KG said, "We'll love to." Hey man, we can make it happen. Eddie says, "Feel sorry for beginner collectors. They deserve better than this." I agree. Not only beginner collectors, man. Even us. I've been doing this for 10 years. I mean, it's kind of insulting my intelligence to don't give us like this. Don't do this, man. It's $423. It's not that bad, but it's also not good. Again, if other companies are, I always make this saying where if Michael Jordan scores 8 points in a game, people would crucify him because he's Michael Jordan. If Kenny Smith scores 8 points in a game, no one would even notice. Hot Toys is Michael Jordan. So all the criticism that he's getting is warranted. Because guess what? When he did Commander Cody, that head sculpt, all he got was praise. Because it's well deserved, those praise. This one, it's also well deserved. And these guys are saying was like, well, nothing's gonna happen, you complain. Well, the fat man from Batman versus Superman back then got changed because people were up in the, their arms are up in the air. It was like, this thing is terrible. The Spider-Man suit got changed. It doesn't happen often, but should we just keep quiet and just take it? Hey man, if it means pissing off JC Hong, then so be it. Man, he only wants the praise, and I take he said something where man babies. Dude, this man babies are the ones that buying your figures, because guess what? 16-year-olds can't afford these things. So thank God for these man babies who grew up and has decent jobs now that can afford $400 figure that can, make this happen. Let's see here. Erwin, let's wait for the team suit. RDJ. Yep. N9 MOR, do you think Hot Toys will reissue the head sculpt? Nope, absolutely not. Lane Kramer, man, that face is awful in comparison. I know, man. I mean, it's kind of like bait and switch, honestly. What? I know, J-Rod. I thought they were going to watch football, honestly, but Lane says, I'm waiting to get a single Iron Man figure, but not sure what to get other than not getting Hulkbuster. Lane, if I'm being totally honest here, if you're just having one to represent your entire collection, I would go with 7. Switch out battle damage pieces. 85 is iconic. But if I only have one, because 7 is so versatile that you can have him clean, mix it up with other Avengers, or you can have him by himself, I would go with 7. Louis says, I agree with you. It's a matter of principle. The head sculpt should be out of this world great, not this. Agree, Hot Toys should reduce the price if the head sculpt is subpar, or just remove it. Hey, keep on saying, hey, I'm not going to display it with a head sculpt anyway. Fine, sell one without a head sculpt. I'll buy it for $370. Ben says, was JC Ben? I think he got pissed. He got pissed because people bombarded him. The collector said, they better not mess up my battle damage. I'm going statue route if the collector. Here's what I would tell you guys. Do not pre-order anything anymore. It's a waste of money. B, you're tied up. You're tied up if you pre-ordered. You're at the mercy. You're hoping that they get delayed. That's the thing. See, Dave, I agree, man. Not a lot of collectors can afford buying a lot of figures. So this might be their only figure and they have the right to complain. I agree, Dave. And also this thing in OSR, dude, life is not about rainbows and butterflies. You can't just keep on posting on OSR. I mean, no one's complaining if somebody was like, hey, day one pre-order, and then they post the screenshot of their pre-order from Sideshow if they see something good. If you see something bad, they want to, like, oh, another thread, or they're gonna be like, oh, again, this is getting old. Man, praising, just keep on praising a kid would ruin the kid. Like in terms of hot toys, if you just want to make them keep on hearing like good things, how is that going to help the quality? Is it helping now? I don't know, but it sure pissed JC Hong. So Job says Battle Damage 85 is the only hope. Eddie says, where's the Hellboy release at? Me too, Eddie, man. I'm looking forward to that release. Something that's not Marvel or Star Wars. Famous Dozo, hey, should I buy the Avengers Hole for $450? Do you think that's a good deal? I would hold on, Famous Dozo, because you can get that for that price anytime. The only reason I said that is because they might release the 2012 Avengers Hole. So, hey, if that happens, that's a better deal, in my opinion. All right, so yeah, we went hard on that. Diecast is the problem, the sculpt or the bad paint apps? I think diecast, it's both. As you can see, the jawline here, it's not the same as here. They said, oh, he's skinny. Yeah, he's skinny, but this should be a little bit wider and then more hollow on the cheeks because he is older, right? Like this looks like an anime where it's like pointed down. You see those on the art class before we're doing anime, it's always like pointed chin. That's not RDJ's facial structure. He got some jaw and also some sagging on the part right here. That's why I think it's way off. All right, so that's that. Oh, DK, appreciate that, man. DK with coming on with a super chat. Hopefully they get Captain America right. DK, this is okay. So let's talk about like hot toys and the fan reaction, and it might be extreme to some people, but I've been doing this for 10 years now, so I've seen worse. But DK, again, I appreciate the super chat. I hope they do Captain America right, because that might be our last chance of getting Cap. Same goes as this might be our last chance of getting a non-battle damage Tony. I think that's why people are so upset with this. People are upset because two things. A, you don't mess with Tony Stark, man. Tony Stark has a huge following. You mess that up, man, people are gonna come after you. And Hot Toys should know their fan base are really passionate enough to drop $4,000 to $5,000 a year on figures. I think they have the right to complain, to voice out their opinion, whether it's good, bad, whatever the case is. I think anyone should voice out their opinion however they want. If they're happy, post it. They're sad, they're upset at something, post it. With that being said, you just don't mess up RDJ, especially if the Mark 50 is doing pretty good. Now people just have one chance to get a decent, Iron Man, which is 85 battle damage. Sure, you can still buy 50, but people are looking after this figure for a long time. People are clamoring for Marvel because all we've been getting Star Wars, and this is what you're gonna get. Let's go to the next part of this. Okay, so before I jump into that, I just want to get you guys' opinion on this one too. The Sideshow email that I'm pretty sure if you bought at Sideshow, you pretty much got one of these, where they are getting rid, that rewards now will expire. Now, I totally get this from a business standpoint. You know who ruined this? The freeloaders who keeps on posting on groups saying that, hey man, I got this figure for free. Yeah, don't do that, because at some point they're gonna ruin it. Sideshow is giving away codes so they would hook you. That's the hook. So you would buy an expensive figure and the reward points would be there to help. Not get stuffs for free. Now, is this the end of the world? No, because honestly, like with this reward points that I gotten recently, and I was pretty active. Maybe I just missed 10 codes, and I went from $40 to now I have like 160. So that's a pretty big chunk. I still got like maybe 120 worth of reward points just purely from their events, and I appreciate that. I don't buy from Sideshow anymore, so that would help if I buy something, right? Definitely would help. This one now, you have a year when it goes active. Um, I guess from the time that it goes active, you have a year. Now you can't spend those reward points for anything under 50, which kind of sucks too. But then again, I don't really buy anything from Sideshow under 50. Okay, so what does it mean? I think this means that uh, this is for the freeloaders basically, and there's nothing wrong about freeloading. Honestly, these are expensive figures. Hey man, if you can't afford it, save as much points as you want, and hopefully, I hope you get one because these are amazing pieces, right? Um, yeah, don't yeah exactly. DK Swab's right. Look at me, I got Mando for free. What's the point of this post? Yeah, you're basically telling Sideshow that you suckered them into this point, and now you get a figure for free that you know, like again, I wish everyone would have a hot toys or experience the fact that that would get hot toys. It's a great feeling, you know. But then again, they're a for-profit company. With that being said, this kind of screws up people who buys a lot from Sideshow, you know, because you're not freeloading. So it feels good to accumulate those points and help you out, maybe get a free figure because you're actually doing business with them. Um, they could have done this a better way. By better, I mean because I get why they do those contests, those points and stuff. It is again to hook you. If you get 100 worth of points and you buy a hot toys, their hope is that, let's say you buy a Midas for Lane example. Let's just say she Lane accumulated $100 points of reward points, bought Midas for $400, still paid $300. But your Sideshow's hope is that you'll be so hooked on that Midas that you'll buy your next piece with them, right? Um, that's obviously not happening to some people. What they should have done, in my opinion, I think this screws up people who buys a lot. And I agree with J Rod here. My points doesn't even go to the point where I can get a free figure. God bless you if you're that patient that you can hold off. More power to you. That is some willpower right there. I can't do that. The most I have right now is like 160. It's because I don't buy from Sideshow anymore. Um, with that being said, I wish they would have separated it. Like the only thing that would expire are points you got from these contests. Now, points you earned from buying from them should not expire. Again, we'll have this argument. We have both sides in here. Sideshow peeps would say that they shouldn't give you points anyway. Those points are out of their goodwill. No, it's a strategy. Points is a strategy. You know, every store does that. Walgreens, that's their hook. So they're not doing it from the kindness of their heart. Because honestly, if you don't did with their shipping prices, the way they ship their items, if they don't offer points, no one. There's so much other options out there, like John Hensley. You know that my guy, I can buy from them with no tax, almost free shipping. Big Bad Toy Store. There's other options right there that if I bet you if Sideshow removes the point system, that will be the nail in the coffin. No one will buy from them anymore. With their ridiculous shipping, no one would. So that points kind of offsets their shipping price. But yeah, I think they should have done that where the points that you earned from buying should not expire. The points you got from here's the problem with that though, and I just want to show you an example here. So it would expire after a year later, and you're thinking to yourself, man, that's a year, that's a long time. I'm really going to buy a figure a year later. That's cool if you only buy a few figures a year, but if you buy a lot, your points will be scattered, you know. So if you buy something on October and your next figure, that especially if you don't pre-order anymore, like I told you guys to, you are going to miss out some points. So there's always going to be points left in a stash, and that's what they wanted, is for you to keep the cycle some points are going to be left here. So you at first you're going to use the points. You're gonna feel bad that these points are gonna expire. So now, even if you did buy something, it takes 40 days for that points to be active. You're not even going to wait for that. So you're just going to use those points to buy a figure, maybe that you don't even want. Maybe you just kind of want, because now you're going to feel bad that those points are going to waste. That's the strategy that they're doing here. I get it in a business standpoint. I understand how they're doing it. As a collector, kind of sucks. But again, this is one of those things where you understand what's happening, but doesn't make it, doesn't make it cool, I suppose. Yeah, Mario exactly put it here. The reward strategy worked on me. I'm having a hard time not pre-ordering with rewards and coupon codes that they keep sending. It's a trap. It is a trap, because what happens is that once you order one, they'll send you a coupon that would expire, in X number of days. So now you're gonna feel bad that that's gonna expire, and you're thinking on your head, yeah, man, I'm gonna combine this with the rewards points that I got from my previous order. I'm gonna save 40. In reality, you didn't really save 40. They made you spend 300. So it's a strategy. It's a good strategy. They'll get you with that. Uh, and that's what they want. The last thing that they want is freeloaders saying that, hey, man, I just got a free Mando. I just waited 4 years and finally I got my first Hot Toys. Dude, they're not doing this for charity. I can tell you that. They're doing this to make profit. So, but okay, so that's done. Okay, so now we're actually going to here now. Okay, so this 2020, I have no idea what the hell Hot Toys is doing. I don't know if you guys tried to look back on Hot Toys has some misses ever since, like they hit or miss, but mostly their misses are so tiny that it's not even noticeable. In 2020, they have quite a few, not only from announcements and also releases. So I only gathered 2020 here, both announcement and misses that I could remember. Oh god damn, Mario just ordered my desk. I am Ricky Freaky. I like that name, man. If Sideshow you're gonna do this code expiration with, they might at least should double box their figures. It's one of my problem with them. Ricky Freaky, go with Big Bad, my man. They double box your item for $4. Just saying. The collector, they need to increase the rewards for purchases because you get way more for those code drop events. I'm afraid the collector, they're gonna just be more expensive. But all right, so these are some of the latest blunder, like makes your head scratch, really. And I'm just talking about this year. With that Iron Man that they just released, I just made me think, was like, what the hell are these guys thinking or doing right now? It's just so out of character for them. And not all companies are perfect, but it seems like this year was just bad. All right, look at these releases or announcements for that matter. Moff Gideon, passable, not perfect. We're not used for using the word passable for Hot Toys, or that will do, or it looks like him. We're so used to like, man, that's great. But lately we've been using that a lot. Moff Gideon, kind of like, it's him. I can see it. This John Wick guy. I'm like, what? And then you got obviously the Venomized Groot, which is a questionable to begin with. And this Venomized Iron Man. Like, what the heck is going on here? Like, really, Hot Toys? Are you guys running out of ideas or whatever? And this is not even including quality. With Moff Gideon and John Wick here, you can say quality wise because you can make that argument. These two are just, yeah. So that's kind of like, what is going on here? Okay, Lane's asking, they sell out fast. I agree. Lewis says, question, would you order Big Bad Toys and no rewards points versus Sideshow? Yes, Lewis, because here's the thing. The reward points offsets the shipping anyway. What doesn't offset is the pile of loot. So if you order more than once, they can ship it all at once. And what doesn't offset is the double boxing of BBTS. If you sell figures, I'm not a shipper collector. but I sell figures. And honestly, some collectors care about those. So that's why I go with BBTS more. All right. So these are kind of like questionable slash not really impressive, right? And typically on a normal year, this would be it for Hot Toys. They had some questionable releases here and there. And this is just what I remembered out of 2020. This is not even the whole of it. And this consists of announcements and again, releases. Okay. This didn't really blow out, the internet when they announced hologram Iron Man, another Stanley, Whiplash, and Spider-Man 2099, I believe that's his name. Out of these three, Spider-Man is the only kind of like redeeming quality in here, right? I get it if you missed out on Whiplash and you really want to get him, but then again, laziness, they didn't even change the head sculpt. It's the same head sculpt where they painted it like a 2020 painter would. There's some improvements on techniques. Got it. Hologram Iron Man is, from what I heard, is a mess. Stanley figure is a figure that no one really asked for, but we got anyway. Why? Because it's easy to do. And shocker that they're all available still. So normally you wouldn't see 2 pages. These are 8 now releases that are kind of like really what is going on, And then I think we're going to the one that got released now. Oh, let's scroll this one down. Because honestly, the hologram Iron Man came out of nowhere that no one really asked for. So was Whiplash, and Stan Lee is kind of like, all right, that makes sense. If you have Ragnarok figures. And then we put in these guys right here. Zombie Deadpool. Leia and Wicket, which is, they even put it on their steal the deal, meaning they can't sell this. They put like $70 off of this one for at one point. Jawas, and whatever the heck this is, some miniature Hall of Armor. If you asked me like last year to compile some questionable releases, some or announcement from Hot Toys, I'll probably get you like 4, maybe 3. But it's just so glaring now. I didn't even include Ant-Man here. I didn't include that Mark 85. Who else didn't I not include? I can put like Wicked there solo. I think there's kind of like a pattern here that we're seeing, that they're kind of taking the shortcut here. That these are easy things to do. And I am glad that collectors are responding swiftly on this guy. Like, these guys won't sell. I mean, they're cool. Not $200 cool. All these suits right here. Gonk Droid, do I want to own one? Absolutely. Looks good. Not gonna pay $200 for this, I can tell you that. Collecting Weeklies in the house, guys. Hey, if you haven't checked out their channel, go ahead and do so. Great podcast, guys. Great podcast. Leia and Wicket, again, would I like to own this? Absolutely. Not for $400. So is this a combination of like easy money / we don't have to do as much work? But again, I love the fact that collectors are responding, and they responded loudly on this 85. I didn't even include 85 here because we just talked about it. And Ant-Man. But Universal says trying to get the Scout Trooper with a bike. Yep, that's nice. A lot of reissue sculpts or no sculpts at all, really. Yep, exactly. Some laziness combined with overpricing. That's the thing that you're seeing here, is these are overpriced, these small little ones. Hey, if there were $60, $100, I might get them, but $200, no. Jawa, there, you can't really make this as good as it actually is right now. I think it looks pretty good, but is it $200 good? I don't know, man. I don't know. Leia and Wicket again. I have no problems with the seams. I don't even have problem with the face, even though it's a head sculpt that's been reused. But I have a problem with the price, and so is this guy right here. So I don't know. Lane says, "What is your feeling on the Remnant Scout Troopers? They have coming. Are you feeling that way?" You know what? I'm starting to get into Troopers Lane, so I kind of like it, depending on the price too. So let's see. Mario says, "I'm unboxing Lay and Wicked right now for display. Sideshow rewards helped a bit with this set." Mario, I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted to pick them up when they were $70 off on Steal the Deal, but couldn't pull the trigger, man. Couldn't pull the trigger. And honestly, I don't have problems with the quality. It's the price I kind of have like a problem with. Collecting weekly. Oh, appreciate that, man. Lewis says, agree. Hot Toys took easy paths, whereas Threezero put out great deluxe and premium Bumblebee Transformers. Premium Bumblebee rocked with deluxe Soundwave. Oh my god, and the price is right. Man, look at and one thing that stood out for me this year, and maybe the collectors are noticing, is Elita sold out. That came out of nowhere. And guess what? That's a brand new sculpt from Hot Toys that they can't reuse anything. Can't reuse anything. That's like like Threezero Rambo, brand new sculpt. I think people appreciate new things now, and they know what's overpriced and what's not. And the fact that JC Hong called the collectors, I'll include myself in there. Is it whiny man babies? Dude, we have all that in us. We have some issues, man. I mean, we're dropping like thousands of dollars in these toys as an adult. So this man boy, there you go. Papa Fett says man boy. This man boy comment by JC, man, if not for these man boys right here, y'all gonna be out of business. Because man boys are the only ones. If you're like in again, I'm not discouraging like 16-year-olds here or not even 20, because I guarantee you, if I was 20-year-old right now, I'd be working at Target. Can't afford these things. My parents is not gonna make me buy these things. So so, exactly. Papa Fett says man boy. Dude, this man boys right here are the ones who's keeping your business afloat. These man boys, for the most part, works hard and earn a decent living, decent enough to drop $400 on a figure that they don't need in life. So, hey, Primerica, what's going on, man? Toy Mafia's here. Collecting weekly. Where did he put the man boy? Collecting. Zach, I think it's on. Where did he put it, Papa Fed? Is it on on Instagram or something? Universal says that's an insult. Where did he say that? Yeah, his entire business model revolves on really passionate group of guys that is passionate about a single, a franchise or a single character. Because honestly, if we are not that passionate, we wouldn't drop this kind of money in here. So KG says, I'm 16 and the only way I could afford these things is by seeking my items in my room. There you go, man. See, in KG, would you do that if you're not passionate about this, these characters or these lines? And by saving and to be called, I'm not sensitive. I don't even care if it calls us man boy or crybabies or man babies or whatever the case is. Man, you take it. If you made a mistake, you take it like a man. You take the praise for Director Krennic, that it's the best head sculpt we've seen, and that's why Hot Toys is the best. You also take the criticism that comes along with your Mark 85 because you dropped that. You made Ant-Man. America says that's like when people say only kids play games, but I work in the film and game industry where men make the games. America, I know, man. We are all man boys in here. Like even if you are not into Hot Toys or figures, if you are just dressing up your car all the time, buying, guns and all that stuff, there's man boys in all of us here. So, hey, man, If not for these man boys, they ain't gonna be you. Comic Reader says, did Hot Toys change the factory or something? Or Moff Gideon and Iron Man head sculpts are not bad, but not previous quality. That's what we've been saying, Comic Reader. Before, we rarely used the term to Hot Toys. You can see it in them. That's good enough. That's like an 8.5. You barely say that. And yes, they've come far. And people are posting from 2008, like the pictures of the Iron Man head sculpts. Like, dude, stop complaining. You could have gotten this. Yeah, they were also charging 165 back then compared to 400 now. So should we lower our expectations? If we do that, that's fine. Lower your price too. So oh Mando. Hey Mando, we've been doing this a lot, man. Wilgie says maybe COVID is a factor why this is happening to a company like Hot Toys. Maybe that's maybe that's the case too. I wouldn't doubt it, Wilgie. But at the same time, man, we saw Nebula, saw Gamora. We saw a bunch of guys out there. So Nebula, Gamora. The most recent one would be Cody. So they were in the same vicinity as COVID too. And I don't know if this is conspiracy theory, but you guys would see all the good head sculpts are the non main characters one. Cody, Krennic, Shuri, the ones that you would say, wow, those characters are maybe like mainly like C or B. Who's that guy? I keep on forgetting. Yondu. Did you guys notice that? Well, Black Panther is not that good, and Shuri's amazing. And why is that? Why? Because we're gonna buy Black Panther anyway, regardless if it's crappy or not. And that we did. Guess what we're gonna say? I'm gonna put the helmet on anyway. But with Shuri, man, for you to buy Shuri, because that's not on your plans. But now you're gonna buy her because the head sculpt is amazing. You're gonna be like, oh man, I didn't really want to buy Shuri, but that's what happened to me with Cody. I didn't even want to buy Cody, but yeah, it's so good, I'm gonna buy it. Well, with Iron Man, you're gonna be like, oh man, I know the head sculpt sucks, but it's all right. Just gonna put the helmet anyway. So I'm not gonna use the head sculpt. I'm just gonna put it on the box anyway. But I bet you if the head sculpt was great, the apologists will be like, oh man, this is the best head sculpt ever. Best head sculpt ever. So America says, side note, your audio is always top notch. Love sure. Oh, thanks, America. Hey man, I've been telling PJ, get a Shure. And he was just like, yeah, man, I can't afford that. He didn't say I can't afford that, but he was like, man, you got to talk to PJ, man. Priorities. He bought Rancor. Uh, Jeffrey says COVID is affecting Hot Toys, whatnot, all their products, and also how are other companies managing it? Good point, Jeffrey. Mark says what we need is JC to finish lines. Agent Smith, Obi-Wan, Series 1, stop giving obscure releases. Erwin says 85 got the shorthand because they know it will sell. Backed with reviews that is the best from Hot Toys. We all know it. Yeah. I mean, and to be frank, it's not that bad. It's not horrible. I think the head sculpt is not enough reason for me to back out on it. It somewhat is, but all right. You know what? Let me put Zach in here too from Collecting Weekly, guys. Just got his text message. So hold on, Zach. Hold on tight, man. I guess I can't afford. I know, man. Sure is what, like 400, I think. It's still not cheap, but it's certainly not expensive. Oh shoot. My bad. All right, Zach. Hang on tight. Hold on, Zach. Sharing my screen. Tight, man. What the heck? Okay. But yeah, you know what? Like, hold on, Zach. I'm getting there. And the worst part is you start criticizing Hot Toys, then you're a hater. Or All right, I'm gonna put Zach in. All right, Mando says, "Do you expect Hot Toys to release any vehicle soon? Uh, or are you turning to top-notch makers like Gas Inc. to scratch the itch?" Mando, I don't have the itch, man, and I won't turn into Gas Inc. Nothing against them, but I tried the vehicles route. I got the Tumbler, sold it. It's too big. Don't have the space. Unfortunately, don't have the space. Gilbert Almazan, I pre-order Hot Toys Pennywise. I'm really glad Hot Toys finally jump on the horror character. I really hope in the future they will make more horror. Gilbert, I love it when Hot Toys, makes a right turn or something different. Love it. Oh, Gilbert says from Hellraiser, America's it's definitely the best podcast mic around. I know, man. Worth the investment, especially if you're gonna do this, a few times a week. Comic reader, I'm really waiting for the Mando and speeder bike. Me too. Danny, you know what? I'm gonna kick you. No, we're just gonna talk about 85 forever, especially that Zach is coming in. Comic reader, man, I'm waiting for the announcement for the next Mando. Because you know what's gonna happen to the next Mando? We're probably gonna get a head sculpt, so all right, guys, we got Zach from
Yo,
what's going on, Zach? Oh, hold on, let me get my headphones.
what a guy. How you doing tonight, Optical?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Dude, you're crushing it. I was listening to the stream while I was giving my kid a bath.
Uh-huh.
Dude, you got some hot takes.
Hey.
Dude, everything you said, I was like, God damn it, that's exactly what I was going to say tomorrow. I think it's so crazy, this whole JC Hong thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the screenshot, but I saw a bunch of people saying that we shouldn't criticize and that maybe we ruined his day.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, these are $430 figures plus tax plus shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of bait and switched the head sculpt, right? Like they didn't tell us until it was released that they had changed it.
Yeah.
At that point, people have already paid NRDs. They've already paid several months worth of payments.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have every right to be upset, right? People are going ape shit over Cyberpunk. It's a $60 game. I'm spending $500 and that shit's different than what I ordered, and it's worse, arguably. Yeah. I think everyone has a right to be upset.
Absolutely, man. And what he said was kind of like man cry babies or something like that. I mean, again, dude, you get all the praise for a good head sculpt that you make. Take this like a man.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen often, right? I think generally speaking, collectors enjoy almost everything Hot Toys makes, and having one small hiccup, I think you can take the L on this one. I think the thing that concerns me is the in the coming soon photo where they showed the releases for the next quarter, the Time Heist Tony Stark, if you zoom in, it's actually that same head sculpt that was shown on that just came out. And the 85 battle damage is coming out pretty soon. So I imagine all three of those are going to use the same head sculpt. And I've seen it all today. Like I've seen people say like, well, I'm not going to use the head sculpt, so it doesn't matter. But the head sculpt is arguably one of the most expensive pieces because Robert Downey Jr. charges a crazy amount for his likeness. For some people that we know that are in the business, I've heard it's, maybe $50 to $70 of that figure price could be going straight into his pocket. So I think this is, I've had the Civil War Iron Man, I've had Mark 50, I've had quite a few that have head sculpts, and I think they're all better than what came out today. So
and it's I told earlier to these guys, like, it's really rare that you say this to Hot Toys, because and plus Iron Man is their flagship character. I know they're hot on Star Wars now, but this is the guy that built Hot Toys. And to send him off like this, he has really passionate fans. Iron Man is arguably their hottest seller like ever. So we don't know what's going to happen, but we kind of knew, like if you think about it, we have two figures of him, this one and the battle damage one, and then you give him this. Obviously, there's people are going to be upset, and you messed up, and you messed up a whole lot this year. It's rarely that they do this, but man, we got the Ant-Mans and Hawkeye, which is, I don't think it's that bad, but we barely see Hot Toys release these kind of streak, in the past years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think the thing that bothers me the most, like, I'm fine if, I mean, I've heard they had to change the sculpt because the guy that sculpted the original one may not be with the company anymore. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't verified if that's true or not, but I've seen that comment a few times today. I've heard that, any number of things, but I mean, it just bothers me that we only noticed this once the first collector got it in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And those pictures came out of it in hand before the blogger pics.
Yeah.
They had to drop those after the fact. And I mean, I would say generally speaking, I'm pretty hard on companies when it comes to like almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like everyone really doesn't like this. Like, I think sometimes I'm maybe like the extremist that just fucking hates everything.
You do.
But boy, yeah, we have a Patreon chat for our listeners, and almost everyone except for maybe one or two people was like going in on this figure. And there's a lot of people that are very positive about these things, and even they were like a little bummed about it. James, yeah, I did see that comment. I was looking it up. It's the Walmart Better Homes and Gardens Square Organizer. And do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Yeah.
It's this one here. They do make it in colors, and they do make it in white also.
How do I make it just you?
Let's see. If you go to the layout, go to the one. No, go. It's like the third from the right.
Oh, okay. Third from the right. God damn it.
Yeah, keep clicking over. It's the one where like me and you are small and there's a big square.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I clicked. Yeah.
So from the right.
Okay, got it. Okay.
There we go. So the one that I have didn't come with the metal base, and I think they sell it without the metal base for like $30. But yeah, it's just I put two of them together, and to be honest, they sell the ones that are eight cubes wide. Or I guess it's like 4 and 4. But I'm an idiot, and I only bought the 4, and I was like, I think I could get away with the 4. And then I was like, damn, this looks dope. Let me get another 4. But if I had to do it over again, I'd get the 8. Lewis says, you're right, Zach. We, the collector community, strongly do not like the Mark 85. And then Mando says, do you think Hot Toys will make figures for Halo Infinite that look as good as the ODST figure on the CW channel? I don't know. I don't know who has the license for 6-scale. I know that Wicked Cool Toys has the 3 3/4 approximate, and then 6-inch scale license. The Threezero figures from Halo look great, but they are awful. They're like this weird hollow rubber over an exoskeleton, and they just don't work that well. The figure that I made was 3D printed, and I painted it and weathered it. And I think, a foot away, I think it looked pretty good. But if you got close, I didn't do a lot of sanding because it is a very complex armor. So I think the thing that I made, I think it was good. But I think if you had it in your hand, you could probably nitpick it quite a bit. But, I mean, Halo Infinite, I think it could be a cool game. And the fact that they're making Cyberpunk 2077, which is obviously was a hot game. I think they could maybe dip into Halo Infinite. I think that'd be cool.
Zach, so what do you think about these guys? So I've seen two where they said which is true. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? But I feel like we shouldn't be saying that on Hot Toys, right? Like that, it's not that bad. I think that was reserved for 3-0.
And so I think that Hot Toys prides himself on the reputation of being the best in the biz. I mean, just the way they carry themselves, the way they post things, like they don't really mess around with like if you look at Sideshow, they do so much engagement and everything. Like Hot Toys has a little bit of an arrogance about them, like they just drop it and it's either you're gonna buy it or you're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they make, generally speaking, really good stuff. But I think when you're the best in the biz, and I don't even think that's up for discussion. I think of 6-scale, Hot Toys is the best.
Oh yeah.
I think that there's higher expectations, right? If Sideshow made a comic Iron Man, or I guess any Iron Man, and they gave us that sculpt in terms of the quality of the paint and the detail of the eyes and everything, I think we'd be pretty impressed. I think we'd be like, wow,
They're
this is
improving.
great. Yeah, they're in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's a reason why people say like if another company makes a good figure, like, man, this figure is Hot Toys quality, it's because they have that bar.
Right.
But and with that being said, like when they drop the ball, I mean, it's pretty shocking, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I know there's some people that think like these companies should be immune to criticism, but
Right.
you know, at the price that they're charging, and admittedly the Sideshow markup is a thing, but even just the retail price, like at Secret Base, I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty
Still
expensive.
pretty
I mean, these
expensive.
are
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
I
not
mean,
Threezero. Yeah.
in 2020, like $20 buys you a good toy.
Yeah.
Like not a super high end collectible, but
Pretty
you know,
good.
Marvel Legends redefined and Black Series redefined what $20 buys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a little less forgiving when, you know, Black Series / Marvel Legends are making sculpts that look really good. Like you can immediately identify most of these sculpts as who they're supposed to be. And that Iron Man, I'm just not convinced that it looks anything like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, you know what? I just remember myself. Like, when was the last time I said this to Hot Toys or said it at all? Like, I know I've been saying that for a third party. I was like, all right, it's there. You can see it. It's there. You can tell it's a. I said that on Asmus, but the difference between Asmus Aragorn is that is $190. Granting it's not
Oh
a
yeah.
robot, and then a die cast, but it's $190, half of what they're asking for. So the excuse of it's there, I can see it. It's like a 7.5. Dude, if you're charging 430, you gotta give me 430 worth of head sculpt. And the argument of, I'm just gonna put him on a helmet anyway, it's kind of weak, It's kind of like
I
giving
mean,
an excuse.
it restricts your options, right? Like with the Ant-Man,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the last time I think Hot Toys really messed up, which wasn't that long ago, but it was also another rare exception. Um, because on the Ant-Man also, I believe if I remember correctly, the even up until its release, the head sculpt was blurred. But
Mhm.
if you expand the image, it wasn't blurred and smiling,
It was
right?
not. No. Yeah.
And so they changed that and
Mhm.
let no one know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Because with Hot Toys, sometimes if you're late to pre-order, you might miss out on a figure. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen.
Mhm.
But also, they can just make changes like that. And obviously, all the bases, like at the conventions, will say pending licensor approval, final product not yet, whatever. But I think if you're gonna make a substantial change like that, I think you gotta let them know. And I think that's something that Hot Toys could improve on for next year. And they really
Yeah.
never do anything like that.
And
I think the only time I've seen, man, correct me if I'm wrong, Optical, but I think the only time recently that I've seen Hot Toys do anything like that, maybe it was for Hulkbuster or maybe it was for Gamora, but I think it was for Hulkbuster, but they put out like hey, we know people have been waiting. It might have been like a year or two ago, but
yeah, yeah, it's cool
it
cluster.
was
Yeah.
like, hey, this is taking a long time, but we're working on it. It's going to be
Mhm.
great. They don't communicate almost ever. Like if you look at Sideshow's communication with the child, and like they updated, you know, almost every step of the way from pre-production to final release.
Yeah. Dude, like, and would people really get that upset? Like with Gamora, she's been delayed with like 900 days, right? And she
Bro,
came out
that's ridiculous.
outside of the hair, right? Like the hair is kind of like a hot mess anyway, but the
That's cool.
actual face,
It's amazing.
people forgot that they waited 900 days. I mean, we didn't because we didn't pick up the figure, but they forgave them, right? Like, what would it be so bad to just admit, hey, this person left Hot Toys. We're trying to redo the head sculpt. I think people would kind of forgive them. Hey, just do it right. I don't care if you delay us. They did the cyberpunk route that they just released a kind of like a broken game. This one is a head sculpt that's kind of like subpar. And again, it's not bad. I mean, it's not horrible, but again, it's also not good.
Yeah, the Gamora is fantastic, and
Yeah.
it came out just a little too late for our awards show. in terms of the best head sculpt. But man, that head sculpt is stunning.
Yeah, Nebula came out great. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Cody, I think Cody won
Cody is
the
ridiculous.
the
Yeah,
one
Cody
set,
won
yeah,
best head sculpt.
best
Yeah.
head sculpt. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to blame COVID for this because they were also in the COVID realm. So
The thing that bothers me though, I mean, I'm not. I assume that there's a lot of stuff that goes on that we're not privy to, but like if I do work for my boss and then I quit, like I don't know that you just can't use that work ever again. Maybe there's
mhm,
some contracts that stuff that we don't know about, but
yeah,
it it just because between Infinity War and Endgame, it was a few years in real life, and I mean the sculpts should be fairly similar for the Mark 50 to the Mark 85, and I mean they're just totally different. And it'd be one thing if it was totally different in a positive direction, but I mean
mhm,
it's a huge step back, especially looking at the Mark 47 sculpt that they just
yeah.
re-put out a few months ago.
That was a sculpt from what 2 years ago.
And that sculpt is ridiculous.
Yeah, from 2 years
That's a
ago, and you got all this
fantastic
time.
sculpt.
It's not like 85 was not delayed. I get it. Things do happen and all that stuff. But to put out something like this and expect that that collectors are just gonna take it and be like, well, it kind of looks different. But you know what? It's a 7.5 out of maybe an 8. That's fine. We should be just thankful for Hot Toys that they're making 85. Thank you, Hot Toys. Yeah, they got an entirely different response from the community.
But that's the kind of thing though that keeps companies like that honest. Like
Mhm.
if you remember back to the BVS Batman,
Oh yeah, yeah.
when the pre-order pics were shown, like I mean almost universally was roasted and people were calling it Fat Man,
Batman.
and just I mean it really was an awful prototype.
Mhm.
And they changed that to be so much better than what was solicited only because of that feedback.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's too late.
It's
Right?
too
Like
late.
that
Yeah, the difference
figures.
that was the preview, like the prototype. It happened with Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they saw the material, it's kind of shiny, and they were like, dude, we can't post this guy. They changed
Mhm.
it to a fabric one. But this one is kind of like switch and bait sort of thing. I mean, and then some collectors on OSR was kind of hiding on that disclaimer that approval licensors,
It's bullshit.
yeah, I mean, there's two different products, and then there's like a little bit of detail not being present. Those are different. So
Yeah.
stop hiding in that disclaimer. I mean, if you're gonna do that, expect like like you're giving them a cop out basically for everything.
If they do release the Time Heist Tony and the Mark 85 battle damage, do you think that like how pissed do you think people would be?
Ooh, dude, there's
Because
gonna
with the Time Heist Tony, it's like you don't really have the option of just putting the helmet on. Like that
right.
figure
You don't.
is literally like that head
That's
sculpt is
it.
like yeah, that's it. And yeah, I will say it was a pretty funny meme though. People were just putting random actors next to like someone put like Samuel L. Jackson next to the Iron Man sculpt, and I don't know, there was so many of them. I made one with Stuart Little as like the funniest thing, but
It
yeah, it
I didn't know, dude. Like literally, so I was streaming with PJ last night, and then I saw it dropped, and we even talked about it for a little bit, and he was just like, "Oh, it's not that bad," and I was just like, "No, it's kind of bad," and he was like, "No," and then I made a video. Dude, that video hit like 4,000 views in like the first 6 hours. I've never had any videos like that. That just shows
wow.
you how bad how
Dude,
mad
that's
the
how many
people
views I
are.
had last year. Wow. Just kidding. Um, Bella Zaglu
Mhm.
says, glad Asmus got the Lord of the Rings 160 license and not Hot Toys. At least I know Asmus always developing and get better every time, and they really listen to their fans. There's a great story that I promised that I was sworn to secrecy, but Asmus really does listen to their fans. That was a thing that they got incorrect recently. Someone messaged them privately and they fixed it, and they were very grateful for that bit of information before they went into production. They were able to address it early and then get that fixed. But
Zach, that
um,
was that secrecy, Dandy, because I think I spilled that out earlier. Yeah, I know.
oh, okay, yeah, that was Danny.
With a bow, with a bow.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, please don't tell anybody. I was like, dude, I
Too
might
late,
talk
Dan.
general specifics, but I can't promise that I won't. But God damn it, Danny says, "How dare you?" I'm sorry, Dan. It's such a cool story, dude. I had to. I didn't tell specifics though.
I did, Danny. I did.
That was optical. Please,
Yeah.
Danny, don't hate me. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you know, it doesn't happen often. It's almost like, Michael Jordan. Like, if he has a bad game when he was playing, like, any player could have a bad game, but boy, if Jordan has a bad game, like,
Front
that's
page.
front page, right?
Front page.
I just I do worry because that sculpt has the potential to make its way to two other figures.
No, that's the bad part.
That's
Mario says they better not mess up battle damage 85, because if they do, oh man, if you think this is bad, if it means they delay 85 till like next December, they should. There's gonna be a riot. It's gonna be a riot, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know.
I think they're planning to do a season 2 Mandalorian with Pedro Pascal head sculpt. Now they're not gonna do it. They're scared now. It's like, dude, just stick with helmet, guys.
I will say this. I didn't make it, but I painted this Pedro Pascal head sculpt for my buddy Watto Scrapyard. And so many people are like, "That's so stupid. This is not the way. He's never going to take his helmet off again. Why would you even waste your time doing that?" And boy, look who's laughing now.
Just need a spear.
Yeah, right. Get a big old nail or something.
Dude. But yeah, man, I was not gonna do like a stream today too, but it was a hot topic. It's still
Dude,
ongoing.
I will say this, Optical. You've been killing it on the videos. You've been killing it on the streams. I don't get to comment often because usually like in the evenings, like I'm washing dishes, like we're cooking, we're getting the kid a bath, or even like that's like my hobbying time, so I'm painting. But I always have the phone watching, and you got a great chat, you got great interaction, and you've been getting some banger takes lately. Like when I was listening, I was just like nodding my head the whole time, and I was like, dude, I just got done with all the shit I needed to do. If you're gonna be on for a few more minutes, like let me jump on, because you were getting some good takes.
Oh, thanks, man.
I love
because
it.
we've been doing this for a while, and you see the OSR, and you see different kind of people out there, but I just hate the fact that you just take it. You just take it in the face. And it was like, okay, here it is. It's 7.5. Then just don't use it. Just use the helmet. I mean, I think it's important that somebody voices this out, and all they're hearing now are like influencers that are everything's nice, and it's not. It's not. It's like, you don't need to buy the 85 clean. You don't need to. There's a battle damage one, and even if the battle damage one comes out and it's not good, you also don't need to buy that. So, oh shoot, I messed up the ticker, man.
That was a collecting lane, boy. Yeah, I mean, and I can guarantee you, like, the next like 50 figures from Hot Toys are gonna be fucking bangers. But
Yeah,
you know,
dude, did you notice like Hot Toys, every time they kind of mess up on something, they release the following day something, like a for pre-order.
Tomorrow's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, they did. I will say though, they did drop today the transport trooper, and then in the photos was the short trooper. So it was like they're just smacking us over the head, like,
yeah. It's like,
yeah, that to me was crazy. And I mean, if no one calls anyone out on them, then they're just going to continue as per usual. And I don't know whether we have a big enough influence for that to make a change, but I'd rather say that we did.
Yeah.
And we tried to make a difference. But I mean, it seems almost universal to the point where JC Hong deleted the post.
Yep.
On his Instagram. I don't know if you talked about that, but yeah, that was surprising.
Dude, and we go to OSR, you post something bad, or you just want, let's say you're late to the party, you're just noticing this now, and you post something like, this is ridiculous. These are the response you're gonna get. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I'll just write it up to you.
Don't use the head sculpt.
Don't use the head sculpt. Again, but if they're excited about something and they pre-ordered something, you'll see a gazillion, pre-order from Sideshow. It's like, oh, I just bought this, and apparently that's fine. You can't say anything negative. So,
Mando says, "Would you like to see a realistic The Clone Wars Grievous by Hot Toys?" I think that could be cool. I've owned the Sideshow Grievous, and it was pretty fragile. to the point where I think any Hot Toys Grievous would have to be it'd have to be die cast. And at that size, I mean, that's like a 16 to 18 inch figure. I mean, you're probably looking at a $500 to $600 figure with die cast. So whether I think it would be cool, and I think that the Sideshow Grievous, I mean, there was a lot of really weird things that you had to do to it to get it look good. Like I had to pop the helmet apart and resculpt the wrinkles in the eyes and a bunch of stuff I really would prefer to have not done. It came out great, but it was definitely a pain in the butt. And you know, I think it could be cool. Grievous is a great character, but I think that if that happens, it is going to come with a pretty high price tag because, you know, I'm having trouble thinking of the last figure that was about that size. I guess maybe the Venom pool, but that's not really a die cast.
Yeah, it's not that intricate either. You know, this one has a lot of moving parts. You know, so
yeah, it could be up there in price. So I think if you really want it, you know, you'll have to pay that premium. I couldn't see them making it for like less than $450. But
yeah,
that's just me. I think it could be cool though.
Layton's asking how fragile do you think IG-11 coming from Hot Toys will be like the figure, but I'm terrified. It's not die cast, right?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, that would kind of look like remember that what's that? The Iron Man from Age of Ultron, where he's kind of like skeleton and he doesn't really move a lot. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I have the Sideshow IG-88, and I broke the arm in like 0.3 seconds. So,
damn.
Granted, I got it for $50 because it had already had some issues, so it wasn't a big deal. I just super glued the arm back, but it was pretty annoying. Mando says the Sideshow Grievous's earpieces being parallel always bothered me. They're supposed to be angled. Yeah, that was one of the mods I had to do. Is you take the ear off, you cut it, you put a paper clip, and you pin that in, and then you can angle the ears at the right angle. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, Jeffrey says like if they have, you know what, Threezero is expanding their license. I think they're doing the also Marvel, but I don't think it's 1/6. But still, because they showcased that Iron Man with a ground post, and it looks like they have better articulation than Hot Toys. I think it's 1/12.
It's 1/12, and I think it's going to be interesting what they do with that line.
Yeah.
But the 1/12 market is pretty saturated with Figuarts and Mafex. And even Sentinel was getting into like the lower in 1/12 with the Miles Morales, like $80. So there's not a ton of like, I mean, there is a ton of competition, but I mean, they really have to do something special to fit somewhere into that market. So
yeah. It's the only redeeming factor, I guess, of this 2020 is like Threezero is finally stepping up, maybe to take that number 2 mantle, which honestly, I don't even know who's number 2 to Hot Toys. That's how big the gap is. We'll see. Hopefully they are.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Sideshow had some pretty good releases this year, but I think they're doing a lot of stuff that's like their own interpretation of characters rather than like from a specific property. Yeah. Because their comic stuff was really good. Like I have their Batman up there. It's a really good figure. But
dude, speaking of Sideshow, do you think they're gonna sell out finally now with their Luke Skywalker? Because the Hot Toys Luke Skywalker is like $500.
So I think Sideshow had some. I guess we can talk like approximate spoilers. Yeah. Okay, so I think that Sideshow had some. I think I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here. I think Sideshow had some heads up that they were making that Luke because I think it was like the Wednesday or like the Saturday before that episode. They had put that figure back up for pre-order.
Oh,
Sideshow does that all the time. They'll make a new batch, right?
But they're always in shipping now or something.
When I checked it, it was on pre-order, but maybe it's already in stock. But I just thought it was I just thought it was a little suspicious, especially after the episode. I was like, no, maybe they had a little
heads up there. But guys, if you're looking for like a Luke Skywalker and you can't afford a Hot Toys one, on Big Bad Toy Store, the Sideshow Luke is like it has $20 off. I think it's like $210 or something, and their shipping is $4. It's $214. Not too bad if you don't mind, not having the Hot Toys version though. So, and it has the cloak, so That's what's popular nowadays.
Yeah, Mando's talking about modding Vader figures. Look into the Kyoto Vader helmet, Mando. We have a video on our channel, and in my opinion, it's the best sculpt that you can get for 6 scale. It's Kyoto 1/6 model kits from the 80s, 90s. It's a really good model kit.
Cool, man. All right, guys, we just first time we exceeded 210, but then again, we are joined by Zach here. But yeah, I think we'll end it up right here. We talked a whole lot of good stuff, and Zach just joined us. Don't forget to check them out tomorrow. Zach, you got something tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we're doing our last show of the year, our last Collecting Weekly of the year, tomorrow at 8:30 Central Standard Time on the Collecting Weekly YouTube channel. And we just do like an hour show, maybe hour 30, and it's like pre-orders, releases, community stuff. So we'll talk about the head sculpt. Usually we review a movie every week, and then we talk some hobbying. I'm not sure if we're doing any hobbying this week, but yeah, it's a nice little compact stream. We stream a lot, so I try to keep each stream a little short. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Optical. You crushed it before I went on. I think you crushed it while I was here. You really coming into your own with StreamYard. I see you working all the banners and the little logo up the top. I'm so proud of you.
Man. You see that ticker at the bottom? I feel like McDonald's right now.
Look at that, dude.
In order.
Looks like CNN, dude.
Dude. Well, again, thank you guys. It was great. There was like this first time we hit 70. That's awesome,
dude. I was like, wow, that's my hat's off to you, my friend.
Apparently, somebody wants to listen to me. I just can't have to do that with my wife. But
yeah, right. Yeah, tell your wife, hey, 70 people listen to me.
Hey, listen to me, lady. But yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for joining. And don't forget to check out Collecting Weekly tomorrow, and then After Dark on Wednesday. That's the fun one. But also listen tomorrow. That's awesome as well. Thank you guys, and have a good night.